Hi class, this is Andrew here, and I'm going to provide you a short video tutorial on your lab 1 on how to set up your development environment. So first, we're going to develop in AWS, so make sure you set up your AWS student account. I sent out an invitation email. It should look something like this. There's a link where you could click on to create your account. I think if you already have an AWS account from before, you won't be able to use that, so let me know and we can sign up with a different email address. But yeah, go ahead and fill this form out. It can take up to a day for them to approve your account, so do that as soon as you can. So once you have your account confirmed, you can log into your AWS Educate here, and it should list the classrooms. It might look something like classrooms where I'm a student. So yeah, you can accept your invitation through here. And then this should become a link like this. So click on classrooms, classroom. It's going to go to a third-party site called Vocarium. Click on that. And then go to My Classes, Intermediate Java Programming. And then click the AWS console to log into the AWS console. Okay, go to EC2, which is Elastic Compute Cloud. And go to launch instance from here. You want Amazon Linux 2, 64-bit x86 select. This is important. Make sure you select at least a T2 small. You need enough memory, at least 2 gigs, to run the IntelliJ IDE. If you run the T2 micro, it's going to crash when you try to start IntelliJ, and it might corrupt your hard disk, so make sure you do at least T2 small. And I think T2 small should be able to run continuously for the remainder of the course, cost-wise. So you have $50 to use from the student account. You go next. Most of the defaults are fine. Yep. Add storage. You can get up to 30 gigs free, so go ahead and put 30. Defaults are fine. Add tags. So these are just this key value pair information that shows up in reports and allows you can search by tags if you want, but we won't use any in this class. Configure security group. Go ahead and select, either create a new one or select the default. We're going to have to add your home IP to the security group inbound later on, so just make sure you select one. Default should be fine. View on launch. So make sure, yeah, T2 small here. And click launch. And then here, if you haven't created an instance yet with the key pair, go ahead and create a new key pair. And just name it something useful, sys491. And then click download key pair. Put it somewhere safe. I'm putting it in my downloads. And then click launch instance. You can click on the instance ID to take you to the instance description. So while that's starting, you can copy your public IP, which is going to be listed down here. Every time you stop and start or reboot the instance, it's going to change. So you just have to come back here, copy the new public IP once it starts up. Okay, now to connect to it, you can use, there's a bunch of different tools you can use. I use Bitvice, but I'll go ahead and explain PuTTY because AWS has a nice documentation on PuTTY. So go ahead and download it here. So I went to putty.org and then click download PuTTY, which takes you to the actual page. If you're running Windows, yeah, run this installer. I think most Windows are 64-bit, so go ahead and run the 64-bit. If not, do the 32-bit installer. Download it, run it, install it. And then it should install. Never install, that's all let me install. So the PEM file you download is basically a file that holds a private and a public key pair. So that the key pair allows you to encrypt and decrypt your terminal session. So for PuTTY, you're going to have to, so basically when you launch the EC2 instance, it copies the public key into the instance as an authorized key, and then you'll have to install the private key on your local client to connect to it. Okay, so open PuTTY keygen. Conversions, import key. Downloads. Then click save private key. Go ahead and click yes. And save this. Says one. It'll be a PPK extension. Okay, then go ahead and open PuTTY. Paste your IP address. Port 22 is fine. Go to connection SSH auth. Browse for your PPK file. And first we need to add your IP address to the security group. So go back to your instances, find your security groups. So this one was default, click the default link. Okay, and then click the inbound roles tab. Click edit inbound roles. Yeah, that's going to time out because we're blocking all traffic. Click add role. All traffic, not IMAP, all traffic. And this drop down my IP. Go ahead and click save roles. Now go back to PuTTY. Paste the host name. Connection SSH auth. Okay. And go back and save it so you don't have to retype it. Save. Open. And click yes to save the host key. We're going to log in as EC2-user. And you should be good to go with the rest of the steps. I'm going to separate them out into different videos. See you on the next video.